Kia ora koutou katoa ko Tupuria King tōku ingoa nau mai haere mai ki te whakangungu anō nei hei kingi podcast. Welcome back to another Train Like a King podcast episode. Before I get into the episode, I just want to state first up that it is exactly 9 weeks starting this coming Monday, Monday the 18th, I believe. It's 9 weeks until our National Sprint Championships. So if you still don't have a plan for the sprints, maybe you haven't started training yet, you can practically get up off the couch, start an 8-week plan, and that's still a lot of time to prepare well for nationals. So head to trainlikeaking.com, check out the 8-week sprint plan, and get yourself sorted for nationals. In this podcast, it's been a while, been a minute. There's been a lot of races that have happened. I think one of the last episodes was we had Mitch and Pharrell on before the Molokai Hoi. So we're going to talk about the Molokai Hoi. We're going to talk about the Wahine o ke kai. We're going to talk about the Hawaiki Nui very, very quickly. Eventually, I'd like to get some of these guys back on to talk about their races, more experience, get their deep dive, dive deep into their experience of those races, how it went for them, because there were some pretty amazing results. And this is only my opinion from watching from afar, and yeah, even from a live stream, it's hard to get a real sense of what happens during races and things like that. So I'm just going to go over general results and some of my thoughts around these particular races, starting with Wahine o ke kai, because that was the first race across the Kaiui Channel. First time in years that this race has taken place. So it was very good to see the crossing of the channel in the six-man again. And I'm sure that it will spark a resurgence of teams going back to this race. They had good numbers this year for sure, both the Wahine and the Molokai Hoi. But I think now that it's hopefully continues to stay open, more and more teams will head over for it. And this year in the Wahine o ke kai, no other than Team Bradley win another crossing. Team Bradley have been at the top of the Molokai crossing race for so long. I don't know how many wins exactly that they've got under their belt, but pretty amazing. They've got some legends in there. Lauren, Kealani. They've got, amazing paddlers in there, and I think just their consistency over the last 10 years plus has been amazing. Second, we have Kalahui Kai. Shout out to Kalahui Kai. They've been running a women's program, for an open premier women's program for the last few years, and that's pretty awesome to see. Not just the Tāne racing in the Kalahui Kai boats, but the women, and not just for the Wahine, but heading over for the Hawaiki Nui as well. Third place was Hawaiian Canoe Club, followed by Huinalu in fourth place for the Wahine. Team Bradley won that race in 5 hours, 44 minutes and 52 seconds. So congratulations, Team Bradley. Awesome effort, and I'm sure it's inspiring to see you all racing again. Hopefully we can get some team from Aotearoa over there, some wahine toa from here. Next up, we have the Molokai Hoi, and who other than Shalva'a to win yet another Molokai Hoi. I think it's 12 or so plus victories for Shalva'a, maybe more. I didn't really do my research, but it's a lot. And they were on fire. Even though they missed the start, like they were completely behind the pack when the green flag went up, they covered their ground pretty well and showed a pretty dominant performance. The depth of all of their paddlers, I think, is part of the key in their success in a race like that. Whereas potentially when there's no changeovers, that's where Shell potentially can be a little bit more exposed, because other teams may not have the depth, but they might have 6 or 9 really good paddlers. So Shalva'a, first place, Molokai Hui. Wailea, second place, first Hawaiian. Kiaukaha, third place. So majority of this team is Hawaiian, led by Mario Mausio, but also have some Kiwis in there, Mitch and Farrell, who I spoke to in the podcast earlier. Amazing result from this team. I know Mario will be super stoked with this result. You know, I paddled a couple of years with under Mario through Huinaliu, Team Oceania, and I believe the best placing we got was a 4th. You know, so this 3rd place and standing on the podium next to Shell and Wailea is massive for them. So yeah, I'm sure they would have had a good party after this. Although Mitch tells me everyone flew back to Hilo. But yeah, congratulations to them. I mean, any podium at the Molokai is pretty special. So, and then we had Popora Te Hui Mamu, another Tahitian team, placed 4th. And the reason I'm going to talk about these a little bit later on, but it's pretty cool to see, because yeah, they're a really good team from Tahiti as well. So that's the Molokai Hui. Now we're fast forwarding a few months, or a month and a bit, to the Hawaiki Nui 2024. And it's quite funny, it was just by chance that I went to find the official results, and I downloaded them, and I was writing them down: 1st place, 2nd place, 3rd place, 4th place, 5th place. And I didn't even realize that I was actually writing last year's results, 2023. And the reason I didn't notice straight away is because the top 5 is exactly the same. Maybe more, I could be wrong. But the top 5 is the same as last year, barring one change. So in 2023, 1st place OPT, 2nd place E Tahiti, Shell, Huahine, Popora Te Hui Mamu, and Hinarauria. This year, OPT, E Tahiti, Shell, Huahine, Hinarauria, and Popora Te Hui Mamu. So just Hinarauria and Popora Te Hui Mamu changed 5th and 6th this year compared to last year, which is pretty amazing to see these teams consistently be in the top 5 2 years in a row. The most amazing thing about this Hawaiki Nui to me is the fact that OPT backed up a win. They were pretty quiet in their preparation, I'd say. Like they didn't put their neck out and come to the the Molokai Hui. They did Catalina, and remember when we did the podcast on Catalina, I said like Shell won, but for teams to be so close to them at the end, that's a scary thing, that close to Hawaiki Nui, because those teams know, oh, we've got Shell, or we're right there, we can get them. So for OPT to back it up was pretty amazing. Last year, their overall time over the 3 days was 9 hours, 39 minutes, and 44 seconds. This year was 9 hours, 27 minutes, and 25 seconds. So that's approximately 12 minutes that they've cut off their overall time. So it's pretty impressive, and also impressive from the other teams, E Tahiti and Huahine, to all take down Shell on that last day. You know, it's like I said, it comes down to the systems. And it doesn't mean that OPT don't have an amazing system and facilities and resources. They do. It doesn't mean that E Tahiti don't. But I'm probably most impressed with a team like Huahine, who doesn't have a significant name, organization behind them, you know, possibly funding behind them. They're just the island in Huahine. They're not the most well-known paddlers in there, just a couple of experienced ones, Kevin and the likes. And yet they build a team on cohesion, teamwork, kind of the mano of the island, and they do really well. So that's really cool to see. The other team is is probably Hinarauria and Popura Te Hoi Mamu as well. Popura Te Hoi Mamu is a Bora based team, so I think they're even more, I would say even a little bit more reserved or away from normal or typical types of races. A lot of their training is in the flat current and stuff. So yeah, shout out to Popura Te Hoi Mamu. The other thing I wanted to mention about Popura Te Hoi Mamu is they were 4th in the Molokai, right? But they were 5th in the Hawaiki Nui. So it goes to show that teams can be successful in the Hawaiki Nui, but the only thing that you have to, like, the top teams that place in the Molokai, so Wailea, Kiaukaha, Kālahuikai, these types of teams, the only thing that's or Lanikai as well, preventing them from performing well in the Hawaiki Nui is local knowledge. Knowing the paddling areas, like if take Lanikai for example, if they spent as much time as they spent on their side of the island at Lanikai Beach training, but they did that in Tahitian waters, they would be just as competitive. I think that's a massive difference. Slightly different conditions, the canoes different. I always feel there's just like a different feeling in the air when you're in Tahiti. It doesn't matter that you've come from Hawaii and it's hot there and there's big surf, whatnot. You get to Tahiti and there's just a sense of like competition that is unmatched. So in the words of Lewis Loughlin, when he was coaching us one time for a race in Tahiti, he said, in order for you to race well, you have to make it your home. You have to make that place that where you are feel like a home. And so I adopted that with my races for Te Aito. You know, you have to get so comfortable that you're just confident and competent to just race your race. So yeah, that was three main races, Molokai, Wahine and Hawaiki Nui, that produced some amazing results. To my memory, anything that stood out in these races, only thing that stood out to me was that I had major FOMO, and I better not miss next year, because if you don't use it, you lose it. So as you can see, calendar of races for 2025. It's all about planning, seeing what ones you can put in, train for, preparation. Only thing I want to touch on is that Train Like a King, we're in the process of getting new merchandise for you guys. Some quick, acute merchandise hopefully for sprint nationals, upcoming sprint nationals. But I will say a little bit more longer term, hopefully mid 2025, we're going to have some new Train Like a King merchandise, taking it up a level this time for you guys. So stay tuned, and we will get some more information regarding that to you later. But again, if you want a training plan for Sprint Nats in 9 weeks, starting this Monday, 18th of November, check out our website, Train Like a King, 8-week sprint plan. That's for you. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.